As we are randomly talking about Tesla's AI, do we really know anything about it? Do we know how advanced the thing is? Well, today we're talking about Tesla's AI and its capabilities. If you have a couple more minutes, I can reveal what's going on in the media about Elon Musk trying to have shareholders vote to relocate Tesla to another state, and some other news, including the fatal accident just happened. So welcome to my channel where I give you the latest Tesla news. Tesla has a software which is called Tesla One. It is a AI controlling system and training software used by Tesla factories all put into one. Tesla One is one of the most valuable AI systems helping develop new and better products, including engines as well as better product methods. Tesla seems to be the only one with this capability, and that's maybe the reason why no one will ever catch up with Tesla. When it comes to the cost of production, Tesla's pace of innovation is beyond anyone else's and will accelerate as the Tesla AI brain, Tesla One, becomes more intelligent. As Tesla grows and collects more data collected daily from its fleet, Tesla will be kept in front when it comes to cost reduction and production. When we look at Tesla's pace of innovation and fully being integrated, it makes Tesla impossible to be caught up by old-fashioned legacy automakers. About 80% of parts in cars of legacy comes from third-party suppliers. It is difficult to make a product lighter or safer or even cheaper. Tesla makes about 80% of parts in-house, and Tesla tries to better the production and product continuously. In the beginning, Tesla bought the system from Bosch like other automakers. The system in the early Model S was basically the same as in the Mercedes S-Class. However, Tesla started making products better, consistently, and eventually came up with a system that Sandy Munro was very impressed with. After Sandy Munro made a full video about Tesla's system in 2020, Tesla already made 14 changes to the octavalve in just 3 months, which was unheard of in the car industry. Just one of the changes could have taken years to implement at traditional car companies. This was possible because Tesla has this AI running the company and automatically the testing of the cars. Tesla's AI system would determine if the car is cheaper to build, the speed of the production increased. Employees would simply implement it at the scale up without any other production sales being affected by it. And even though production never stops, change and improvements will not stop either. Tesla earns money on every car they sell, while Ford and other auto manufacturers will lose a terrible amount on their EVs. And while Tesla's fleet is growing consistently with more data, Tesla's AI keeps learning and improving also. In an article on Agile Academy, Joe Justice explains.
We could introduce that a little bit better seat in production today, and there would be no changes to the battery pack. The battery pack wouldn't have to change at all. And the battery pack could introduce changes today to be a little bit lighter, a little bit more efficient, have slightly more energy density, and we would not have to make any changes to the seat or to the cooling system. Now, the cooling system heats and cools the battery pack. It also heats and cools the seat. It connects to both of those things. But they can release new versions anytime, actually multiple times a day in hardware. And the reason why is, see these connections? As long as these connection points to the battery pack and the seat and the cabin, as long as they don't change, new versions can come anytime. Now, interestingly, those connection points also change. They change all the time. But when they change, there's adapters put on them. Little pieces of plastic and aluminum that adapt the electrical connections and the hot and cool fluid flow to be compatible between these changing modules. So the interfaces also change. Every day at 5 a.m., I would walk into the Tesla factory. There's no other building, there's just the factory. There's not like some lovely office where decisions are made and then outsourced engineering. It's all in one building, or in 2020 it was one building, the factory. We'd all walk in at 5 a.m. and look at the board. It was just called the board. These boards show you the current bottlenecks. And when you become an employee of Tesla, you're given a set of 9 engineering rules and you digitally sign them. You digitally sign that you will attempt to follow those engineering rules. And then you sign that you will decide what to do every day to try to have the most positive impact towards the company's mission. And then you don't have any manager. No one tells you what to do. It's actually really scary in the beginning because you walk in at 5 a.m. and you look at these boards and you decide where to go. If we zoom in on this board, here's what you see. Here is the here's the center screen in the Tesla Semi. That's the same screen in the Tesla Model 3, the small car, the small sedan, and the Tesla Model Y, the small SUV. It's the same screen, the same part, and in the Tesla Semi. What you see at 5 a.m. is the current estimated cost in pennies to make one screen. And this is a real-time number from sensors in the factory. So this isn't a human report, guessing how much it costs per screen to make it right now. Then every screen is weighed by robots, every single one. And you see the real-time weight in grams of a screen. And every screen is robotically tested, every single one. And one of the numbers is how much electricity does it use, its power draw in milliwatts. And you see that real-time number. This is actual Tesla data. This has been released by Tesla. This is it. What's useful for us here in this room is most companies in hardware introduce changes every 2.5 years, 5 years, 7 years. You can actually see these numbers getting better every day. That's because we mob every day to try to make that center screen weigh a gram less today, have a milliwatt better, less power draw today, cost a penny less to make today, take a second less to manufacture today. That means our mob, our group, needs to be able to, together, design, program robots, melt plastic, pull metal from stock, talk to suppliers, but really quick ones, like suppliers that live across the street and can deliver some stuff today. And it's our job today to make it better.
Joe mentioned since he retired from Tesla in 2020, Tesla has put all of these AIs together and is called Tesla One. It is actually the most valuable part of the company. I don't think people understand that the digital backbone of Tesla is actually value of any Musk companies is actually the digital process to design the manufacturing system in less than 12-hour chunks. It is very well assisted, and he mentioned that he couldn't ask Google or ChatGPT to draw a more efficient electric motor than any human has ever made.
It takes literally seconds to make. It costs truly pennies to make. It has very few moving parts. It heats and cools the entire battery pack and all the seats, all 5 seats, and the cabin. A useful point for us is no one knew how to make this before. You couldn't have had a 5-year design cycle that would have resulted in this, or a 7-year design cycle to make this. No one knew how. The only way to discover how to make this was by these frequent small changes. Agile, right? Small frequent changes. I have a theory. We don't learn very much by talking. The only way to learn quickly is by building. The only way to learn quickly is by building, is my current theory. You want to start building something new every day. You need a daily cadence to get that feedback loop. It's the only method to learn this quickly. The United States military has asked for more SpaceX antennas, and the combatants in Ukraine have asked for more SpaceX antennas. And when asked why, everyone admits there's no better antenna in the world, not any special forces, not any military, than SpaceX has. That's measured in gain. The fundamental metric of success for an antenna is its gain. And the highest gain antennas in the world are made by SpaceX. And no special forces, no military has a higher gain antenna. Wait, why is that? SpaceX doesn't even make antennas as their primary business. That's one module of a rocket. Why is it that these companies are routinely making the best breakthrough engineering ever, that humans have ever made? There's something about the way engineering is evolved in these companies that's fundamentally fast. Here's what it looks like. If at 5 a.m. we in this room decided to join the heat pump line, our first step, these are actual pictures, would be to try to make one. Not draw one, not talk about one, to try to make one physically. So we'd be mixing glue, we'd be whittling plastic with a knife, we'd be drilling metal and sweeping up the pieces of metal on the floor. That's what we'd be doing that day, starting at 5 a.m., all of us together. We'd be using methods like Mob, and we would have AI assistants. Now, while we're trying to make one heat pump that hopefully weighs a gram or more or less, for example, some of us would be reprogramming the robots to build our prototype. Well, why would we do that? We don't know if our prototype is good yet. We don't know if it's better than the previous model yet. Why would we reprogram the robots already? We only learn by building, right? So if we want to get really good at programming robots, what do we want to do every day? Program the robots. So we do. We reprogram all the production robots every day. What happens is after about 100 hours of that, the people doing that usually know more about the actual limits of the production robots than the companies who sold them the robots. And when that happens, the Musk companies typically buy the robot company. That happened recently with a robotics company in Germany. The Tesla employees understood the limits of the robots better than the company making and selling them. So they just bought the company out and made it part of Tesla.
Tesla One is creating simulations and is running millions of simulations to figure out how to increase production and quality of the product. Tesla One is also specialized in analyzing data from the fleet of more than 5 million cars with real-time data and on all electrical components as well as the FSD. It also runs simulations to make production smooth, simpler, with less parts and the end cost. This is also how Tesla can make over-the-air updates while legacy is just so far behind. So let's talk news. So according to Teslarati, Tesla is now permitting free FSD beta transfers on Model S, X, 3 and Y, purchased in North America for customers who take delivery before the end of March. Tesla made this move in response of customers' feedback and speculations. Kathy Wood of ARK Invest said Tesla's total addressable market will jump tenfold with the $25,000 next generation EV launch. Kathy Wood delved into the potential market for the next generation vehicle by 2025 in ARK's weekly innovation newsletter. This move could potentially expand Tesla's addressable market tenfold. Other investors, including future fund Gary Black, have also underlined the need for a lower-end vehicle to lift Tesla sales volume. Thursday, Benzinga Newswire. I do like Dan Ives, so here we go. A leading analyst has outlined a new plan for the board of directors to work on improving the sentiment around the stock. Wedbush analyst Dan Ives said, "We believe the Tesla narratives is a negative we have seen in the last few years with Musk and Tesla getting attacked by bears from all directions." Ives brought up the 2028 compensation plan being voided by a Delaware judge that added fire and brought a new worry for Tesla investors and its board. Ives mentioned the board must come up with a new compensation package that takes Musk to the 25% voting share of Tesla he has requested. In summary, for Tesla, we believe moving out of Delaware to Texas is the only decision and should resolve the Musk compensation package, and at the same time take out the uncertainty of Musk and his AI initiatives going anywhere else except under the Tesla hood. On Friday, AI route. Sales of battery electric vehicles are at record levels. The main point is that efficient automotive technologies are doing just fine. Demand around the world. In 2023, roughly 13.3 million cars that plug in were sold in the US, Europe, and China. Those regions account for more than 60% of global light vehicle sales. The 13.3 million figure was up 34% compared with 2022. About 9.3 million battery electric vehicles, or BEVs, were sold for a gain of 30%. Sales of plug-in hybrid electric vehicles rose about 46% to 4 million. In the US, sales of BEVs grew 46%, just faster than sales of mid-hybrids. On Monday, Benzinga Newswire, Elon Musk explained Model Y price cuts. Since most people don't love to buy cars in the middle of the winter, Tesla's offering a $1,000 incentive to do so. And of course, the Dawn Project has launched a Super Bowl advertising campaign calling out Tesla for its self-driving software safety issues. What else did we expect? Well, didn't you do this last year? What a waste of money. On Tuesday, Tesla raised the prices of the Model Y in Germany by 2,500 euros. Tesla's regulatory credit sales in 2023 were revealed in a recent filing with the SEC. This income came from other automakers' failure to meet emissions regulations due to insufficient electric vehicle sales, reported by Business Insider. Despite Tesla's expectation that this revenue stream would diminish as other automakers increase their EV production, this has been a significant revenue stream for Tesla. The company has earned nearly $9 billion from this business since 2009, with the earnings slightly increasing from the previous year. And finally, Stellantis is incorporating Tesla's NACS plug into select battery electric vehicles starting 2025. By the end of the year, in 2023, Tesla has confirmed commitments from 28 automakers to the North American charging standards. Stellantis, the parent company of Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and Fiat, was absent from that list until now. Tesla boasts over 50,000 superchargers worldwide, capable of recharging up to 200 miles in just 15 minutes. And of course, Tesla FSD fatal crash. Hans von Ohain died in a fatal automotive accident in 2022. Von Ohain and passenger Eric Rossiter were involved in an accident that saw the Tesla Model 3 hit a tree and burst into flames. Rossiter survived the crash and later told emergency responders that the driver had used the auto self-driving feature on the Tesla. Rossiter's testimony and evidence suggest that autopilot was not being used. Instead, Von Chain and Rossiter used the FSD function. Both had been drinking before leaving a golf course. An autopsy of Von Chain showed a blood alcohol level of 0.26, significantly higher than the legal limit. Elon replied to a post on X that the FSD has never been downloaded to the car. Fred Lombard, who posted the story, Elon said, got it from the Washington Post, whose story was published about 3 hours earlier. Elon also mentioned that he was not on FSD. The software had unfortunately never been downloaded. The accident probably would have not happened if FSD would have been engaged. So if you want to know a little bit more what's going on in the media right now with Elon Musk and Tesla, you can watch this video next. So thank you so much for being here. My name is Claudia, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.